Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how to draft the pattern for a corset top. The materials and tools you'll be needing for this tutorial is this check fabric and the plain check. I have a matching thread for it. I also have my cup that I'll be using. I won't use the ready-made cup. I'm using the one that I got from my cup moldage. I have my underboss wire. I have my pencil and marker to draft the patterns. I have my boning here. I'm using a plastic boning. I have my pattern master. I have my highlights and I have my paper tape. That's all you need. I've already drafted my landmarks on which I will apply my measurements. Let me take you through the process of how I got to this stage. The first thing I did, I drew a line on which all my vertical measurements will be taken from. I placed my staple on that line and I marked my bust point measurement, which is 10.5. I move up 2 inches from that bust point measurement to mark my chest line. Without removing my staple, I marked my under bust line, which is 13.5, before I went ahead to mark my waistline measurement. So the next thing you're going to do, I'm marking half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 3.5 on the bust line and also on the waistline, and I'm going to connect those 2 points with a straight line. The next thing you are going to do is to mark your dart amount. I'm going to use 1 inch. I'm marking ½ inch on both sides of the dart line before connecting it to the bust point. Now we have a dart. I'm going to create a new underbust line by moving up ½ inch from the original underbust line. This will help you lift your boobs. For the underbust tightening, I came out ½ inches from both dart legs of the new underbust line. To get a new neck depth, I'm going to move up 1 inches from the bust line at the center front, like so. Then I mark. From that 1 inches point, I'm going to move in by ½ inch. I'm going to move in by ½ inch. You can make yours 2 inches from the bust line. You can make yours 3 inches from the bust line, depending on what you want for yourself. But I'm going up by 1 inches before moving in by ½ inch. That is for the distance between the 2 boobs. So this is where our cup is coming in. I'm going to place the tip, one tip of the cup on the ½ inches mark, and I'm going to make sure that the cup is touching the ½ inches on the under bust. That's where the cup will stop. So I'm going to mark that point on the bust, on the cup as well. You can see what I did. Make sure your cup is not flat, lift it up a bit and mark that point on the cup. You can see I've marked the point where it stopped on the underbust tightening. So I'm going to place the cup, that same point, on the next under bust line. That point, you place it on the next under bust tightening on the left hand side, and you draw your cup. At this point, this is what you should have. Now we are going to apply quarter of our bust measurement on the chest line. And you are also going to mark quarter of your waist measurement on the waistline. Before you do that, I extend the other bust tightening to the waistline with a straight line before I apply my measurement. I'm going to apply quarter of our waist measurement on the waistline. Before you do that, you measure what you have here and add it to the waist measurement. So I'm going to mark quarter of the waist measurements like so. And then you mark what you have here as well before you go ahead to mark your seam allowance. I'm going to connect it to what we have on the chest line like this. I'm going to move down half an inch from the chest line. You can leave yours like this, it's not important. I just want a little curve around that area. For the back, I'm going to mark half of my nipple to nipple measurement on the waistline and also on the chest line. I'm going to connect these 2 points with a straight line. The next thing you are going to do is to create your darts. I'm going to mark half inches on both sides of the dart line before connecting it to the chest line. On the chest line, I'm going to mark half inches on both sides of the line as well. I'm going to connect it to the half inches on the waistline. The next thing you are going to do is to apply your quarter of your bust measurements on the chest line. I'm also going to mark quarter of my waist measurements plus the dart amounts on the waistline. You connect the chest line to the waistline with a slant line like this. Remember, we went down half inches at the side seam of the front. You are going to do the same for the back, and I'm going to connect that half inches to the bust line of the back pattern as well. This is what you should have at the end of the day. And I went ahead to add my 1.5 inch seam allowance. You can do one as well depending on what you want to use for the side seam. At the center back of the waistline, I came in 1 inch and mark. I also moved in 1.5 inch on the bust line at the center back and connect it to the 1 inch on the waistline. That is if you want an opening at the back. By the end of the day, I later did not use this. I just went ahead to use the straight center back that we first had. Now we are done drafting our corset top patterns, and I'm going ahead to cut these patterns out. And this is what you should have at the end of the day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do, please give this video a thumb up. Feel free to like and share this video, and also share to your friends and family that are a fashion designer as well. Tag is soulmates. Have a nice day and bye.